Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So today's video we're going to be checking out our brand new rank 5 Night Thrasher. We're going to be doing Labyrinth of Legends, Starlord, Realm of Legends, Wolverine and a couple more fights afterwards. Meanwhile I'm going to be explaining exactly how we are trying to play him in certain fights, why so, and exactly what he does. So at first we're fighting Labyrinth of Legends Starlord. Our initial game plan is to get to our 3 level 1s, stack 3 unique gadget debuffs on. Those are Incinerate, Shock and Disorient, which basically Incinerate reduces their block proficiency and deals damage over time, Shock deals damage over time, and Disorient reduces their block proficiency by another 50% and reduces their ability accuracy by 50%. So once all of those three are on, we're landing a heavy attack in order to put a taunt debuff. Taunt debuff works exactly the same as Stark Spidey does, reduces their attack by 40% and increases their chance to trigger special attacks by 70%. And once taunt debuff is on, every time we strike Starlord with Skateboard, we gain a Fury charge, max 10 of the Fury charges that increases our attack. So we are essentially set up. We had our 3 debuffs on, Taunt was on, 10 Furies are ready to go, and now we are using our special 3 attack to put a passive debuff on opponent that extends all our debuff duration by 75%. That also includes our bleeds from Guillotine and Moon Knight synergies, and it also includes our parry stance. So this parry stance duration increase is not affected by Limber, and what it means essentially that so long as we have that debuff from level 3 active, we have infinite amount of parries in Labyrinth of Legends and we are ignoring the Limber. So our game plan here is basically to cycle our level 2s and 3s, and that is gonna give us a good damage output, really good crits with level 2, and extend all our debuffs with our level 3. Keeping in mind that Starlord can't evade our skateboard attacks, which essentially means he can't evade our special attacks and our medium or heavy attacks. So we're quite safe in this fight. We're not worried about Labyrinth evade at all. We just got evaded once, but we didn't get punished. But statistically and overall compared to all the other champions, we really are safe from that evade. And now we're launching another special 3, and the fight is gonna go in this certain rhythm where we're gonna get to level 3 and then use our level 2 and then raise back to our level 3 again. As you can see, we are dealing quite a bit amount of damage already. Our mediums are often gonna be critting over 10k, and our light attacks are gonna be doing like 6-7k crits. And with all them furies, even if we do not crit, we do deal decent amount of base damage. Plus we have all these damage over time debuffs, so that is the thing I absolutely love about Night Thrasher, that he does not necessarily rely on one specific source of damage output. And if you are fighting an immune champion, you might be slightly hindered, let's say if opponents bleed immune, but you're still gonna have your shock and your incinerate damage, you're still gonna have your furies on, and so on and so forth. If opponents are immune to certain type of debuff, it doesn't mean that your damage kind of goes to crap like it often does with Blade or Gwenpool or champions like that. So the main idea is, so long as we have our 10 Furies on, we're going to be doing alright damage wise. Night Thrasher also gets critical damage increase based on each unique debuff opponent has. So the more debuffs we can hold an opponent, the bigger we can crit. And his level 2 gives us a precision buff, which gives us critical rating based on number of debuffs. So when we launch our level 2, the more debuffs opponent has, the higher chance we have to crit. And once again, all these abilities by themselves individually might not seem overly powerful. There are no crazy numbers in any of them, but all of that adds up in between Fury, in between damage over time, in between our precision buffs, in between our cruelty increase. That all ends up having us immensely high damage output. And I'm gonna spoil the length of the fight here. Thrasher does this Labyrinth of Legends Starlord in about as many hits as rank 5 Stark Spidey does. We all know Stark Spidey is one of the heaviest hitters in the game with his huge crits. Thrasher might not have as huge crits, although he has still impressive ones. But he has a lot of different damage over time and different perks, what makes him really useful. And that's what I like about him. That once again, if opponent is immune to a certain thing, he does not necessarily lose all his offensive abilities. Also, that power gain he has while he's under 1 bar of power makes it extremely easy and fast to set up, and it's really convenient for like kind of shorter and burstier fights. So I did not mention it before, every time we parry or use our dexterity mastery while we are under 1 bar of power, we gain a good chunk of power, and that helps us with our initial setup of launching our 3 level 1s and just filling our power bars in general. It would be nice if that ability would work all the time, but then it would be just too overpowered, because even the way it is already, Thrasher is kind of like cycling through specials extremely fast. You can see here 269 hits and he's already under half of his total health. So we're just gonna keep going with our initial strategy, level 3, level 2, level 3 and level 2 and so on and so forth. What is also extremely useful right here, aside from us having infinite amount of parries and so on, and that he can't evade, is absolutely helpful that he can't evade from our skateboard attacks. And the main thing here is a taunt, that if we do mess up, his attack is reduced by 40%. And also taunt basically kind of helps us to keep the fight aggressive, and it lets us not to spend a lot of time baiting out special attacks, because normally they're gonna basically shoot you the first chance they have, just like they do against Stark Spidey, right? So we're kind of awarded with a really aggressive, fast-paced fight where we have freely available parry, and we have all these debuffs going on for us, great damage output, and it just is extremely fun kind of way of fighting. I do enjoy it, definitely. Often it is kind of like one of the more frustrating things in the fight to try and bait out a special attack from opponent, and this saves us a great deal of trouble. And since we can be so aggressive, we have no issues keeping on our gadget debuffs. Obviously, with the help of level 3, we do get a whooping 24 seconds of the duration for these debuffs, and 24-second taunt, and that's like a really large amount of time. Also, Thrasher is incinerate immune, and on top of that, he has increased physical resistance. And as you can see, we hardly take any damage from this Starlord, even if we do take some hits and block. Those are basically doing us like less than 100 damage, and parries do like 20 or something like that. So we are really sturdy compared to most other high damage output champions, and that's one of the reasons why I like Thrasher. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I feel a lot more at ease and comfortable and safe using Thrasher in this fight in particular, as opposed to, let's say, a Starlord or Stark Spidey, because Stark Spidey is extremely squishy. He has that auto evade that can sometimes mess you up. Starlord, you have to keep focused and you have to keep your combo going, because as soon as you get hit, your fight is basically over. With Thrasher, it doesn't matter. So long as you survive, you can keep going, because we do not lose our furies or debuffs if we get hit. Obviously, we can run out of duration of these debuffs, but it doesn't take a long to reapply them. Also, if opponent manages to knock us down, we're gonna lose our furies, but we can get them back like really quickly, and we're gonna be back to our optimal damage output. So as we can see, 416 hits, 419, and he's nearly down. I took a quick screenshot there, just kind of to share in my line chats. So 426 hits, and Starlord goes down. and that, I think, that is extremely good damage output for a champion that was unboosted, and there were no suicides involved, no nothing like that. It's just Night Thrasher with his kind of damage. So here we're going to be going up against Realm of Legends Wolverine, and it's still kind of a good test to see what the champion can do. I know this fight is extremely outdated, but I think it is one of the most aggressive regions in the game. We have maxed out our Dexterity Mastery. Sorry, not Dexterity, Despair Mastery. So each our debuff reduces his heal by 15%, and we're going to be stacking a whole lot of them. Also, our Disorient debuff reduces his ability accuracy by 50%, which means he's not going to be triggering all that many of his regens. And that, combined with our damage output, should be able to take this Wolverine down quite easily. So you can see we're on 34 hits and he's at full health still. However, I have a feeling things are about to change. We just got our 3 debuffs on, we got our Taunt on, let's buy that attack, and now we're going to be getting to our level 3 again. Normally, for most fights, I don't even bother with level 3, it's just for kind of lengthier ones. For all other fights in the Realm of Legends, with the opponents having 500k base health, it was literally no point in me trying to get to level 3, and we just were using our level 2s. So Night Thrasher's damage output is definitely impressive. I knew it's gonna add up to be a decent one before I even ranked him up, but I didn't expect it to be as good as it is. I ranked him up because I liked all the combined utility he provided with his Incinerate immunity, ability to bypass evades and auto blocks and things like that. But the damage is definitely a great plus that is a pleasure to watch. So here we can see we're at 77 hits and that Wolverine is already on his last legs. We just need to land a few more good hits and he's gonna go down like it's nothing. And yeah, I must explain that synergy teams do help Night Thrasher. The main synergy Night Thrasher has is with Guillotine, which grants him ability to inflict bleed on his critical hits. So there we saw, I think it was 94 hits Wolverine going down. Anyways, back to the synergies. So the main synergy is Guillotine, which grants Night Thrasher ability to inflict bleed on his critical attacks. The other important synergy is Moon Knight, but that is not as necessary. That also lets him inflict bleed, but it is not as potent. It's on his skateboard attacks and the bleed is smaller. And then we're also using Nick Fury for just an added extra attack. And lastly, we're using Darkhawk, and Darkhawk's synergy reduces opponent's armor per each unique debuff on opponents. So that's also helping us with damage output. However, when you are using Night Thrasher for questing and stuff like that, the one and only main things that you kind of need to have and that helps you out loads is Guillotine. Night Thrasher has a great damage output even without that bleed, but having yet another unique debuff just kind of helps him overall with all of his abilities. As I explained before, all his cruelty and precision buffs that he gets are based on the amount of debuffs, plus bleed in itself does damage over time. So he really opens up a lot better with Guillotine than without. But all the other synergies are just kind of nice to have, it's not necessarily a must. And yeah, here we can see we're going in against Black Bolt. Once we spend our initial kind of like 30 something hits setting up, these opponents are just melting away. For regular quest fights, we might not necessarily need to even use the 36 hits to set up, because we can still get a Taunt debuff even if we don't have the 3 debuffs on. It's just once we have 3 of them on, it's 100% chance basically, because we have a 35% chance to apply the Taunt per gadget debuff. So after each level 1 we're placing one of those on opponent. So after our first debuff we have 35% chance to put it on opponent, then after the second one we have 70% chance, and if we have all 3 we are guaranteed to place a Taunt. But yeah, that's gonna be pretty much it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to leave a like, share it with your friends, with your alliance. Perhaps you saw something interesting you didn't think you're gonna see. Perhaps it's worth discussing. And if you did, feel free to subscribe. like it and stay tuned in the channel, because we definitely do have some more interesting rank ups and videos coming up. And that's gonna be pretty much it for me today. And once again, I really do hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to subscribe, like and share. And that's gonna be there about me done. I'm gonna leave the finish of this fight in the background if you want to see how many hits it takes to take down that Hulk. But I'm gonna see you guys next time.